Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Annalisa and today I am a fall fairy. This is going to be the Cozy Autumn book tag. This is created by Lucy over at the Book Bell. And I just wanted to remind you that I have various crocheted items that are fall themed, such as these mushrooms and pumpkins of various sizes. It's a little pumpkin. And that is linked below if you want to check it out. I have done this tag before, and I'm thinking of after this going back and seeing how my answers changed. I know a couple of my answers changed and a couple of my answers have stayed pretty much the same, so that's interesting. So the first question is, what book reminds you the most of autumn? And I picked Garlic and the Vampire because I first read this in autumn, and it is about a sentient garlic bulb and her friends who are all sentient vegetables who are grown by a witch, and it is about a vampire coming into the local area and everyone being scared and thinking that Garlic should go investigate because vampires are repelled by garlic, right? And she's not very confident. She is very scared. So it's kind of about facing your fears and silly preconceptions and things like that. And it's a graphic novel, so it has all these beautiful illustrations that are in dark greens and browns and some orange, so it's very much fall colors. And then the whole gardening thing has very fallish theme because of the harvest, and vampires of course are Halloweenish, so that one very much reminds me of autumn. What is your favorite autumn book cover? I forgot to find one before I started this, but it is Rust in the Root by Justina Ireland. Just feast your eyes. It's got dark green on the spine. It has leaves growing between the words. It has the word root in it, so that's gardeny again, and it has dark red and browns. And her cloak is black and her dress is green, so very fallish, and it came out in the autumn as well. And yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure if it takes place in the fall, but there is a lot of nature stuff going on in it, as well as one of the powers that our main character has is the ability to change seeds into other things, like a sandwich or a little fighting warrior minion. Then number 3, what is your favorite autumn drink to read with? To be honest, the most common drink that I drink with, that I have while I'm reading, is ice water. I love ice water. I started drinking it heavily like 12 years ago when I heard that it was healthy to drink a lot of water. And then I am autistic, so sometimes I have bad interoception and can't tell when I was needing water before, but now that I drink quite a bit of it, I am more used to what it feels like to be thirsty, and it's not a bother to go get a drink every time I feel thirsty because I always have a drink ready. And so I drink a lot more now, and I'm a lot more hydrated, and that has probably helped with a few other of my problems. I do like a hot chocolate, but if I'm thirsty, I want to drink a lot at once. So I go for my ice water, whereas hot chocolate is more of a little special treat that doesn't actually serve any purpose. So I will occasionally have a hot chocolate, but not that often. Yeah, I'm very boring in that area, I'm afraid. I have started having the coffee occasionally, but I found that the more often I have a coffee, the less it works on me. So I save them for when I am going to be driving for a long time or something and I need to stay awake and alert. So when I do have a coffee, it's usually not for reading, it's for driving. And then I have either my mom's home coffee, which is usually caramel flavored. It smells amazing, with a whole bunch of vanilla creamer, which is delicious, or a caramel frappuccino from the McDonald's. I actually do not particularly enjoy a pumpkin spice latte because lattes generally don't have enough creamer in them for me. Number 4, do you tend to read at night or in the morning? And much like last year, I still tend to read the most at night. I read a fair amount of audiobooks while I'm driving, and yeah, usually by the time I'm getting down to reading, it's at least the afternoon. But occasionally, if I stopped reading the night before a book I was really interested in, I will wake up in the morning and read instead of actually getting out of bed. Number 5, what is your favorite spooky read since Halloween is coming? And I picked Ophi's Ghost, but it is also by Justina Ireland, like Rush Down the Route, and she has become one of my favorite authors, even though I've only read 4 books by her. That's enough to be a favorite author, isn't it? Especially if only 2 of them are in a series. So they're all kind of different from each other. And Ophi's Ghost is a middle grade, which is my favorite age range. And it is about a girl who can see ghosts. This is set during Reconstruction, I think. It is very shortly after the 1960s, and Ophi and her mom go to work at a manor house, which is owned by people who used to own slaves. There are ghosts in this house of many kinds, and it's very sweet. It's got some pretty scary parts, but definitely appropriate for a middle grade audience. Number 6. What is your ultimate comfort read? A lot of my answers are going to be the same as last year, I think. My favorite romances, especially autistic romances, so the Brown Sisters trilogy, Helen Huang's books, and also Radiance by Grace Draven, and Grace Draven's other fantasy romances. Fall is a time for fantasy romance, I feel like, because a lot of my favorite fantasy romances have either fall settings or kind of scary settings like Halloweenish, or are very nature oriented or something like that. So yeah, a lot of them feel very autumnal. Number 7, what is your favorite reading snack? I think last year I had already discovered this Irish cheese that I like. I just snack on 3 or 4 pieces. I tend to need to eat every 3 hours for my, I start getting cranky if I don't eat every 3 hours. So that's usually my mid-afternoon snack, and I am usually either reading or watching TV while I eat that. And also banana or pumpkin bread are very good. I have a recipe for banana bread that is actually a cannibalized peach bread recipe, and it's very good. It's very moist and brown sugary. So moist and brown sugary varieties are my favorite. Some recipes for banana bread can be kind of dry, so I prefer this one. Number 8, what is your favorite fall candle that you burn while reading? And I do not burn candles because they give me headaches, but I do love to sniff a candle, and I will put in some footage of a few candles that we have that I sniff when they're not burning because I just like the way they're scented. The wax is scented without it burning because it actually changes the smell when it burns. And also a couple of my hand creams that smell, that are my favorite smells. I'll show you some of them too. What is your favorite fall activity besides reading? As I said last week, I'm still playing Pokemon Go. I first got my scooter in the middle of August, and I started playing in the middle of August. And so scooting around is okay in the summer, because at least I'm not walking, so I'm not exerting myself in the heat. But I am very heat intolerant, so I'm really happy that I'll be able to diddle around on my scooter playing Pokemon Go in the parks, and it'll be a bit cooler, and I can do it for like more of the day instead of just in the mornings. So yeah, diddling around in the park is one of my favorite activities, and harvesting my garden. It's really exciting to see all the work you've put in through the spring and summer actually come to something. We've already harvested corn, green beans, and a cantaloupe that was a volunteer cantaloupe from our compost pile, where we put the cantaloupe innards from cantaloupe we ate from the grocery store. So that was a fun surprise. But we've got various types of squash still coming, so that's exciting. Number 10, what is your fall reading list? I have a massive from the library TBR. This is not the whole thing, unfortunately. I have 2 romances that are partially for Latina Heritage Month. We have An Island Princess Starts a Scandal by Adriana Herrera. I really like the first book in this series. And then You Had Me at Hola. I didn't really like the sound of the premise of this one, so I didn't pick it up right away when it came out. But then I heard really good reviews, so I'm gonna try it. Then I'm thinking of rereading Wild Beauty. This one I actually own at least, so I can read it whenever I want. It's by Anna Maria McLemore, who's one of my favorite authors. And yeah, it's very witchy and flower oriented, garden oriented, which makes me feel, it gives me the fall vibes. Then we have Things We Lost in the Fire by Mariana Enriquez, and this one I heard recommended by Cynthia from Book Whimsy, and I can't remember what it's about, just that it was very highly recommended and I wanted it at the time that I requested it. Then we have a bunch of witchy books. Season of the Bruja, which is a graphic novel. Bindle Punk Bruja, which I saw on a recommendation list of Latina witchy books. Enchanted to Meet You, which is just a random witchy book I saw recommended. So I'm really looking forward to a lot of those. I really enjoy a witchy book for fall, and I really enjoy a romance anytime, so hopefully those will all be a really good time, and I'll also get a few of the other books that are not seasonal but I just need to get around to also finished. I need my phone to know who to tag. I'll tag Julie from Keep Calm with Books and Coffee, Pretty Purple Polka Dots, Books with Brandy Shanae, and Mythical Megan. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to leave an emoji, how about fall leaves or those little leaves that go in the wind? And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!